Hi, this is Anna Imagination with a Healing Garden. Welcome to Shifting Perspectives. So I just had this massive, I can't leave that there. I cannot leave that there. I have to tell them how. So I always go back and I rewatch videos. And I finished the last one where I talk about artificiality versus authenticity. Artificiality being the wearing of the mask that we do to protect the feelings of others. And how, on the flip side of that, there are people who are neutral to hearing the opinions of others versus people who are insecure. And so they internalize, or they are insecure and they project. So you have your internalizers and your projectors. This is socializing 101. How to talk to people without being an asshole. This is it. And I mentioned boundaries in the last video, and then I said nothing. Like the whole thing. I'm like, that's it. I'm done here. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I didn't even talk about boundaries. And boundaries is where we really need to cover. Okay, so you got part one. Watch the video. I posted it below. If you have not seen it, you really need to spend 20 minutes and go watch the first video. Because now this is the how to pull this off. I'm telling you, I gave you homework in the last video and said, go be authentic. Now, boundaries. This is going to be really, and in fact, I did psychological boundaries this morning on another video. It's under predator dating. So go take a look at psychological boundaries, that video under predator dating, and that will show you what's going on psychologically speaking when you apply boundaries, because there is a very specific process. And you know what? I think I'm just going to cover that again right here because it's so important. You have to know this going in. So for psychological boundaries, there are 5 parts to setting up a boundary. This is vital. Okay. And I can get into this later if you want, why it's vital. The first one is you have to assess the situation. Now, what assessing the situation does is it confirms that you have the skill, and this is a skill you are developing, to assess a perspective. That's the first thing. Now, this is in addition to everything we just talked about in the last video with feeding the narcissist triangle in the system with your artificial behavior. Be authentic so that people know that they're internalizing or projecting, and then they will practice. What they are practicing is this. They are practicing learning how to assess a situation. This is a skill. You have to learn how to assess a situation. The second stage is deciding what the situation is. So assessing it is, what is the situation? It is asking the question, what is the situation? Deciding is when I think the situation is this. And then you check and balance it. Is the situation this? And you might toggle it even. Now you have to conclude that this is in fact the situation. Yes. I'm going to decide that this is in fact the situation that I am in, and it requires an appropriate response. By the way, this happens in like a millisecond in your brain. The next thing is deciding on what the appropriate action is going to be. Now you've got to figure out what to do and what to say. Now, while you're doing that, you then have to decide and execute. Now, when you do this, a lot of emotions occur. 1, you get confidence. B, you get self-esteem. 3, you get validation. 4, you trust yourself. Yeah, that's the big one. This is where self-trust comes from, is when you can consistently protect yourself. So when you lay down a boundary, all of that is happening when you use authentic behavior. You do not need to use a boundary when you exist artificially. Compliments of the first 4 perspectives, because they should have figured this out when they were 4 years old. So that being said, artificial and authentic are absolutely in conflict, because artificial puts you in a situation where you don't have to use boundaries. Authenticity requires the use of boundaries. I'm going to say that again. Artificial living does not require boundaries because everyone's agreed to not step on everybody's toes. Boom, hence narcissism pandemic. So now we're going to try it this way. Be authentic, use boundaries. Now the boundaries are designed to do two things. This is what I love. This is what I love. Oh my God, when something becomes suddenly crystal clear and boom, I can see it. Oh, this is fucking gorgeous. Give me a minute. A boundary does one of three things. It communicates to the projectors, hey, back the fuck off. And it reminds you that the person you are talking to might be internalizing what you're saying. So you need to be extra careful not to project onto them. A boundary prevents you from becoming a projector or an internalizer. A boundary is what holds you at neutral. So if everyone were authentic and if everyone learned how to use boundaries, boom, narcissism would vanish from the face of the earth. Literally. This is really fucking important. So I am going to be hosting communication and boundary lessons like pronto, because this is important, really fucking important. It's going to be communication classes. It's going to be narcissism classes. It's going to be all of this shit. I'm going to have so many workshops. If you want that information, click below. There's a link there. Take a look at the link below. And then it's going to be, I need to call it something. It's going to be like Triadic Healing, because this is going to be the name of the course that I'm going to call it. And if you go to my link tree, you'll be able to see a link right to it, and it will put you right into everything you need to know. So either link tree, it's funny because I have link tree right here, so I can do it right now. So it's either going to be, yeah, it'll be Triadic Healing, curing the pandemic, in reference to the narcissist pandemic. That is what that is going to be called, curing the pandemic. I really need to clarify that because it's going to sound like I'm curing COVID, and I'm not. Absolutely not. Curing the narcissist pandemic. Okay? That is the name of that course. If you want to know anything about it, click on either of those links below. The link tree will show you where you can just click right through, or you can click on that other link. And if any of this resonated with you, and if just click on that link, tell me which video you watched and which part resonated, and then send it to me, and I will be in touch to get you more information on curing the narcissist pandemic. And basically, it's going to be teaching you how to be authentic and how to use your communication system with your love system, because this is what it's going to take. It's your communication system with your love system and your boundary lessons. It's going to be all of that combined. And when everyone practices this gorgeous little thing, it will literally teach all of us to basically desensitize ourselves to our differences. That's what I'm looking to do. Become desensitized to our differences. So funny because I'm living this shit right now. I'm living it. In some ways, my partner and I are identical, and in other ways, he and I are polar opposites. And I take fear and I chew it up for breakfast. And he lives in a cocoon of fear. And I have never in my life seen, it's such a foreign to me. And I've had to learn how to desensitize myself to our differences so I can understand him. Because desensitizing to ourselves to the differences of others creates a massive communication problem, because we are not practicing authenticity. So we are not practicing setting our boundaries. Because we're not practicing setting our boundaries, we're not practicing to not internalize or project. And because we're not doing that, the whole thing just keeps snowballing. So yeah, we're definitely going to be doing the Curing the Narcissist Pandemic. I'm going to be starting up classes this week, and I'm going to start with some sign-up sheets. Go ahead and just sign up, show your interest, and we'll start getting a group together. And then I will be sending out a newsletter to let you know, okay, this is the day and this is when we're going to get started. Or I'll just record the material and I'll send you the information. I will keep you posted, but I'm going to have a classroom and we'll go over this. There will be definitely information. So right now I'm just saying, if you want to know more, I am putting together the information. Click on the link below and you will be up to date on what's going on with it. So yeah, that covers everything. So if you love shit like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want more shit like this, take a look at my link tree. And if any part of this video resonated with you, click on the link below and tell me which video and which part resonated. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.